Lots of different variables in this next storm system. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for clicking on to tonight's Weather Extra. We'll have heavy snow in the mountains, heavy rainfall, especially along the coast, strong gusty winds, the potential for flooding, the potential for power outages, and it's not every day that you get the puddle ducky and the snow ducky on the same graphic, and that's what we have out there for tomorrow. So here's what we can expect over the next 24 to 48 hours. Snow mixed to rain for many areas tomorrow. That mix being some sleet and freezing rain. I think freezing rain will again play a role in this storm system. Heavy snow in the mountains, 8 to 14 inches there. We could see 2 to 3 inches of rain, especially along the coastal plain. Flooding is possible where a flood watch has been issued. We'll look at that in a moment as well. Strong winds could gust over 40 miles per hour. That's mostly along the coastline. That's late in the day tomorrow. And yes, some coastal flooding is possible at the times of high tide. High tide tomorrow at 12:40 during the afternoon, and a high tide a little after 1 a.m. on Wednesday. Winter storm warnings up in the mountains. They go into effect 7 a.m. and extend until 7 p.m. on Wednesday. Sort of a long duration there. Winter storm watches, areas in the blue. This will probably either be upgraded to an advisory, a winter weather advisory, or possibly in some areas a winter storm warning. It all depends on how I think it plays out during the course of the day tomorrow. Sort of a tricky forecast, trying to figure out where that line is going to be during the course of the afternoon and evening tomorrow. Notice there are no winter headlines as far as advisories and warnings along the coastline. Instead, we have a flood watch up. 1 to 3 inches of rain are possible in the areas in green. Heavy rainfall late in the day. So the flood watch goes into effect Tuesday afternoon and extends until Wednesday afternoon. And yes, a wind advisory has been issued by the Weather Service, 3 p.m. in the afternoon tomorrow until 11 p.m. Winds could occasionally gust 240 or possibly slightly over 40 miles per hour. Here's the timing of this. This is your 24-hour expected wind. Notice right through the early morning hours, the wind is going to stay rather quiet here, but as we ramp things up late morning and more so afternoon and evening, these are sustained winds over 20 miles per hour. We'll probably have gusts around 40 miles per hour late in the day. That sustained 30 might be a little generous there, but you get the idea. We're going to see some strong gusty winds. The combination of the wind, some freezing rain in spots, heavy wet snow, especially well inland, could produce some more power outages. So things are quiet right now. You might be asking, where the heck is the storm system? Well, it's still pretty far away, and it still needs to get its act together. It's way down in here. We're going to see an area of low pressure developing off the Delmarva coast. We're going to see it ride up the eastern seaboard. And believe it or not, the storm itself, we're going to get the worst of the storm as it's probably near Long Island and New Jersey, somewhere in here. That's why we're going to get our strongest winds. Remember, you get winds that rotate counterclockwise around low pressure. That in combination with a high to the north should produce some pretty strong gusty winds late in the day on Tuesday. All right, so here's how it's going to play out. This is what we think anyway. This is 7 a.m. tomorrow. It's cold enough for snow. In fact, it's cold enough for snow, sleet, and freezing rain. The sleet and freezing rain is trying to hang out just offshore at this point, so I think we'll get a burst of light snow. Any precipitation very early in the day should be very light. Some freezing rain or freezing drizzle is possible during that period as well. Now, as we head through the late morning and more so afternoon hours, the precipitation is going to pick up in intensity. There's that mix line. First, it's snowing back through the hillier terrain and mountains. There, it's dumping at a pretty good rate during the afternoon. There's that mix line. We're going to watch that pretty closely. That mix is a mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain, and I think freezing rain will play a role in there. We're seeing a change over to rain at the coastline as temps rise well into the 30s during the late day hours. In fact, let's go right through 6 p.m. Look at those bright oranges, reds, and yellows in there. Those indicate some very heavy bands of rainfall moving through. That's why the Weather Service has issued that flood watch. We could see 2 to 3 inches of rain in this area where the watch has been issued. There's that ribbon of freezing rain trying to hang out just north of Lewiston and the Augusta, Kennebec County area, northern York County, portions of southern Franklin County. The snow is dumping in the mountains. Heaviest precipitation, whether it be snow, freezing rain, or just plain rain, will probably be during the second half of the day tomorrow into the first part of tomorrow night. Now, this is going to be a slow mover. Now, while the storm will be at its worst during the course of the day and evening tomorrow, it's going to hang around over the next few days. It's going to sort of sit and spin, just keeping some on and off rain in the forecast on Wednesday and the chance for rain and snow showers for Thursday and Friday. So again, a very slow mover with this one. This is 10 a.m. Temps are above freezing for most areas on Wednesday. There might be a little bit of mix in the mountains, but whatever falls on Wednesday should be in the form of plain rain and rain showers. And notice how this sort of meanders about. We're actually just going to see a lot of clouds with a chance for showers into Thursday. All right, snow sleet accumulations. The jackpot is up in the mountains here. There, we're going to see 8 to 14 inches of snow. At the coastline, the other end of the spectrum, a coating to as much as 2 inches. In between there, it's going to be a battle. We're going to watch it from the Sebago Lake area up through Lewis and Augusta, 2 to 4 inches, interior York County. You get through Bridgeton, possibly northern Androscoggin County, Oxford Hills area, Farmington, down to the Conway-Freiburg area, probably about 4 to 8 inches of snow. It's in this area that we're going to see some icing as well. We're no stranger to freezing rain, at least over the last few weeks, and this one no exception here as far as storm systems go. Up to about 1/10 of ice is possible for coastal areas. I think the jackpot of this one is going to be over towards the west side of Sebago Lake, interior York County, Kennebec County, right up through southern Oxford and Franklin County. There's the potential for 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of ice. Let's remember, we'll probably get some heavy wet snow ahead of that. And some ice on top of that and some wind. Not a great setup for power outages. So we're going to watch for, yes, more power outages expected during the course of the Tuesday, probably late in the day. Wednesday, again, a slow mover. We're staying wet that day. Temperatures should be above the freezing mark, high of around 40 degrees. Rain and snow showers on Thursday. There might be some bright spots Friday. Saturday looks to be a lot better. High temps should make it back into the low 40s. A little bit cooler inland. Inland areas, the major difference between coastal areas and inland areas tomorrow, you'll hold on to the snow and wintry mix longer, and you'll probably hold on to, in the mountains especially, you'll hold on to the heaviest bands of snow longer right through the nighttime hours tomorrow. Notice the temperature is set up as well. You'll have a hard time getting much above freezing tomorrow as well, so significantly cooler over well inland areas of Maine and New Hampshire. That's the way things look tonight. Sort of a tricky forecast, so stay updated on the storm. We'll have more updates coming up on CBS 13 at 11, Fox 23 at 10, and Craig will have more updates first thing in the morning.